faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, who are not here. But I am, and my name is Jade. I will be your host for today. So stick and stay with me. Today is going to be an interactive show because my co-host could not make it today. Yes, your Uncle Azam is not here with me today, so we will have to chat amongst ourselves. So don't be shy. Call in, give your feedback on the topics, and talk to me. I want to hear from you guys. It is Monday, 7th February. Another week in February has begun. First, I have to send a big shout out to my dad. Happy birthday, Mr. Johnson. Y'all make sure you tell the illustrious, the fabulous, the amazing photographer, Mr. Winston Johnson, a happy birthday. Today, show him with lots of love and gifts and all of those things. Yes, because he deserves. For putting me on this earth. Have to thank him. But as I said, it is Monday. I know y'all on the way to work, probably annoyed, having those Monday morning blues, you know, the usual. I hope y'all are early. If y'all on the sound of my voice, you should be at your desk, not in traffic, not eating breakfast. You should be at your desk. But anyhow, you know the usual, my weekend. Well, it was nice and quiet, I must say. I really enjoyed the rain this weekend because, you know, we need it. We always need rain. We always need a supply of water because sometimes, you know, well, at least up by me, for some reason, water keeps going at night. So I'm just assuming that, you know, that means something is happening. We may need to fill up those resources. So thankful for the rain. And yeah, my weekend was nice and quiet. I spent it in my house, just listening to the rain and, mommying with my little one. Hope you guys had a good one as well. This week was this weekend was kind of quiet in St. Kitts. Thankfully, there was not a lot of people out here acting up. I didn't see anything buzzing on the socials for once. Well, besides I guess people finally started reading the article about how herd immunity isn't the main priority anymore, and that had people a little, that had people talking. I'm not gonna lie, that one had people talking. But yeah, besides that, there was not much chatter on the socials. So, since Azim isn't here and he doesn't have a story for you, I'll just jump straight into the usual. It is tea time. Yes, I'm not the singer, so I can't give you that. Remember, guys, the number to call is 465-0989, 466-0989, 662-0989. Join the conversation or watch us online. Comment on the lives, share it with your friends. Don't forget to leave us a like so other people can see these lovely videos that we make for you guys every day. It is on Win Media SKN on Facebook and on YouTube. So, if y'all want to head over there to see, you can. But let's jump straight into today's shenanigans. So, firstly, your usual COVID report as of Sunday, 6th February. We have... Sorry, I'm just adjusting some music for you guys. As of Sunday, 6th February, yes, we have one confirmed case in the last 24 hours, but a total of 26 recovered cases, which are great. But the thing is, it seems like we had an additional death, and my heart completely goes out to the family members of that person who lost their life, because that's the last thing we want to see happening. Like, we see it happening all over the world where people are just seemingly getting sick and unfortunately they don't make it. And we never want to see loss of life. Trust me, it's not something that you want to experience. You don't want to have to bury your loved one over something like this. You don't want to have to bury your loved one at all. Nobody wants to, but yeah. Condolences to the family, man. Honestly don't want to see these numbers rising. I honestly, every time I open the COVID report, the first thing I do is just check to see, because I really don't want to see these numbers going up. But we have a total number of 191 active cases, which is a big jump from where we were at the beginning of the year. So it seems like this wave is slowly but surely and hopefully leaving us. I honestly don't want to see any more, but I did find an article that suggests that there might be a new variant, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, because this is what they've been telling us, like the mutations and the new strains will be coming out. So it says new coronavirus variant forms. Health officials suggest that persons not take the disease lightly. In 2 years, over 382 million people globally have been infected with the COVID-19 virus, resulting in more than 5 million deaths. St. Kitts and Nevis has contributed to 37, well, now it's 38, unfortunately, to that toll. Speaking at the COVID-19 press briefing, this is from last week, by the way, we just didn't get to jump into it. On Wednesday, February 2nd, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, Medical Chief of Staff at the Joseph N. Franch General Hospital, said that the longer the virus stays around, scientists expect more mutations. Yikes. Having heard of variants such as Alpha, Gamma, Lambda, and Delta, the highly transmissible Omicron variant very quickly became the dominant strain globally. Though the Omicron variant is associated with less severe disease, Wilkinson said, people tend to take the infection it causes lightly, and has warned that though the disease may be less severe, it does not mean that the disease will be mild. Please remember that the less severe disease does not mean mild disease. It can still cause severe disease and long COVID, as well as putting a strain on the workforce, particularly the healthcare workforce, the supply chain, and the local and global economies. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization declared that there is a new coronavirus variant, and Dr. Wilkinson said it is only a matter of time until it reaches the Federation. There is now the new Omicron subvariant known as BA2, which is 1.5 times more transmissible than the original Omicron strain. Nearly half of the U.S. states have confirmed the presence of BA2. That means it's only a matter of time before this new subvariant reaches our shores. The good news is that BA2 is so far not associated with more severe disease, and the vaccine still appears to be effective against symptomatic infection. As the virus continues to mutate and new variants form, Dr. Wilkinson explained that the best protective measures and the path to near normalcy is being vaccinated with a booster for adults 18 years and over, wearing the high-quality medical-grade mask, social distancing, and getting tested before gathering with those outside your household. Well, boy, yes. Listen, I'm tired of this. I say this almost every week, but truly, I am tired of this. These mutations, the new strains, all of these things are quite annoying and cumbersome. Also, that's something that I realized that a lot of people don't really make mention to, which is long COVID. I feel like we should by now have more information on how this may affect you. Because I have friends that have had COVID and they have not been the same since they've had COVID. Like, they have back pains, they aren't able to breathe as they used to. Sometimes they have a little difficulty. Myself and Azim had a cough that lasted way past the time that we had COVID. So there are still some lingering effects once you get sick. Thankfully, as the article mentioned, that the new strain doesn't seem to be as bad as the others, thankfully, again, but still, we don't want to see that type of strain affect us. Delta was pretty tough, and we saw how that skyrocketed our death rate, and we just really don't want to see that happening with any other strains. We don't want to see mass loss of life, mass terminations, and all of those things. But speaking of terminations, y'all, I feel like it's time to rehire the people that you fired. I mean, I know we said it last week, but again, it's time. It's time. Lots of people still out of jobs. They don't know what will happen. They don't know where they're going to get the next paycheck from. And we see companies hiring again, but we see a lot of companies also hiring and negating that you have to be vaccinated, which that is your choice. As a company, that is your choice. But we have to remember that this won't be around forever. So what then? What happens when we move past, if we moved past COVID, and we have to now live with this disease? Will we still continue to push the narrative of that you can't work unless you're vaccinated? I think there are other ways. I'm pretty sure that there are other ways to manage risk. Because time and time again, they tell us, wear your mask, sanitize, social distance, and just try to live better. Try to eat your fruits and vegetables, get some exercise in, and all of these things. So I think it's time for us to really start thinking about other things other than, yeah, you only could do these things if you're vaccinated. You only could work here if you're vaccinated. You only could go to this place if you're vaccinated. I think it's time for us to move past that and try to figure out another way. Because reality is, everybody will never get vaccinated. There will never be a time where everyone has to be, well, there will never be a time where everyone actually gets vaccinated. That is just bottom line. For whatever reason, maybe choice, maybe medical reasons and all of these things. So we don't want to keep excluding people from living, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. People aren't going to be able to live a meaningful life because either they can't work, because they can't get vaccinated, or, these things. We don't want these things for people. We're too small of a country to segregate and exclude. Somebody saying Happy Independence Grenada. Yes, to any Grenadians listening or watching, Happy Independence to you guys. Happy Independence indeed. Somebody else is saying COVID is not going anywhere now, so one will have to be vaccinated to get a job, which I don't agree with, because everybody cannot be vaccinated. It's just not possible. Again, with different factors involved, if we're looking at the whole picture, we know that everybody can't get vaccinated. Those who can and want to should, yes, but reality is everybody can't. So, again, we have to start figuring out, how do we work around this? How do we work around this? Morning, Witty. And we also saw that the good doctor said that herd immunity isn't something that seems to be attainable anymore. So now, if that is the case, what do we do going forward? What is the next step? What is going to happen now? We realize that this thing that we thought is going to, I guess, end this pandemic isn't really happening. Isn't really going to happen. What do we do now? That's what I want to hear. Like, it's all well and good to come out and give us information and tell us, it seems like things have changed, whether from the World Health Organization or whoever it may be from. But the information has definitely changed. So what now? With the new information that we've gotten, what is the next step? Because, yeah, this information isn't coming from us. This information is coming from the big bosses. Time to switch up. Time to switch up. Boy. Anywho, again, this is going to be an interactive show because it's me alone and I'm not going to talk to myself all morning. I'm just not doing it. So guys, again, remember the number to call to give your opinion, to chat, to talk to me if you want to, you see fit. 465-0989, 466-0989, 662-0989. Call in, give your opinion. Write something on the live. Write something on the live. And share it according to Molly. Share the live. Anyway, let's see what else is happening on my little sheet here with information. The things that I found interesting this weekend. Yeah. So this one I saw buzzing a little bit on the airwaves, the internet, and it is the public official set the record straight on the local HIV positive cases. So, strong public sentiments were shared on local social media platforms recently, with claims of a dramatic increase in the number of positive HIV/AIDS cases in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. In an effort to seek confirmation on this widely believed claim, WIN contacted the St. Kitts Health Promotion Unit and the Nevis Health Promotion Unit, who provided a summary of the data which explains the number of new cases annually and patients in care and treatment, among other things. Data from the St. Kitts Health Promotion Unit reveals that there have been 73 new cases of HIV/AIDS in the Federation from 2017 to 2021. In 2017, there were 12 new infections, 13 for the years 2018 and 2019, 20 new infections in the year 2020, and 15 for 2021. The Nevis Health Promotion Unit provided a detailed summary of the HIV/AIDS cases for the island of Nevis from 1987 to 2021. There have been 80 cases, 40 males, 40 females. The number of new infections for 2021 was 2, 1 male and 1 female. And for 2020, there were 3 new infections, 1 male and 2 females. The number of clients in care and treatment was 21, 12 males and 9 females. The lab at the Alexandra Hospital in Nevis conducted 411 HIV/AIDS tests, and 72 were conducted at the Avalon Lab, which is private. Speaking on WIN's popular Inside the News program on Saturday, February 5th, 2022, Miss Lucine Pemberton Vaughan, health educator and counselor in the National HIV/AIDS Secretariat at the St. Kitts Health Promotion Unit, disagreed with the notion that there is a dramatic increase in number of AIDS/HIV cases in the country. She said, "I would not really say that, meaning there are more and more people coming forward for testing now, so these people could have been there. But now that they come and decide to get tested, it means that we can now capture this data." However, Ms. Pemberton Vaughan said, "Do not forget that persons are not adhering to the cry for protected sex. And yes, every year we will have persons becoming infected because HIV is still here." Also weighing in on the discussion was Ms. Nadine Carty-Keynes, coordinator of the Nevis Health Promotion Unit. She said the numbers for Nevis in terms of when you desegregate the data is pretty much in line with the number you get every year from the past years. However, everything boils down to testing. If people get tested and know their status, that would give us a more accurate picture. Cumulatively, as the Federation, the 15 to 20 trend in terms of testing hovers around there for several years now, so that it's not outside the norm in terms of laboratory diagnosed testing, Ms. Carty-Keynes added. Gay and bisexual men of all races and ethnicities remain the group most severely and disproportionately affected by the epidemic. Unprotected sex with an infected HIV/AIDS person is at high risk for transmission. Married couples who have unprotected sex are also at risk. Condoms for men and women are available for free at health centers in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Well. So guys, listen. There is nothing wrong for you. There is nothing wrong with you going out and getting tested, okay? With your partner, especially when you are engaging in sexual intercourse with somebody new. Nothing is wrong with going out and getting tested to be safe. Also, using condoms. And they mentioned it, not because you're married, it means that you can't use them. Protection is protection. Married, single, whatever it may be. But we have a caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Jade. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. I want to send birthday greetings to your dad.
Thank you.
Yeah, he taught him in school, Every time he sings, he's a teacher.
Oh, wow.
So I taught you, in the seed of your father.
That is amazing.
Anyway, Now, good morning to all the listeners at home and abroad. You ask a question, what do you do when you have people who refuse to be tested? We're not talking about people who have legitimate reasons. You know, if a doctor said you can't be and religious, really religious, reasons. So exclude those from the discussion. We come to the AIDS and you see the same kind of connection. People here put on a condom. Oh, I don't like to put on a condom. And when I pay my money, when they go to brothel, some of them, oh, I'm not going to put on a condom. So what do you do? Because that becomes the question, They say put on a condom for your own protection and your partner's protection. Put on the mask for your protection and other people's protection. And some people say, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. So how do you deal with it? Then it boils down to when companies decide what they want, we ask the question, so what do we do? They have the traffic police who will come in later. You have the yellow lines and they have the stoplight. And there are some people who determine that nobody could tell them anything. So, if all of those who refuse to stop parking on the yellow line or who intend to drive through the red light, nobody could tell them when to stop is dead. What do we do? Because the truth is we have got to come to a decision. If you're conscious, because this is my thing, people are free to make choices. But you cannot make a choice and ask somebody to change their choice for you. When you sit down consciously, because I think sometimes we act out of emotion. Well, Jade ain't going to take none, so me ain't going to take none. What Jade has to do with you? What has Jade's decision got to do with you? Her situation may be different to yours. So, you hear a lot of people say, oh, I ain't going to take none because of this and that. You decide you're not going to take any. All right, fair enough, that is your choice. But the choice doesn't belong to you alone. I have heard some of your colleagues saying, open up the place and then make plans to deal with the fallout. I mean, what kind of reason is that? It sounds good, but it don't make no sense. Open up the place, throw back the thing and deal. So, who should deal with the fallout and who asked for the door to be open? Throw back. No, I'm just reasoning, you understand? It may not be you, but it's my reasoning. So I've heard a couple of them saying it. Just throw back the place. So,
technically, right now, that's kind of what's happening. The place is open, and so
people are to just let everything open. And now, are you aware that nobody is being buried free?
Sorry?
Are you aware that nobody is being buried free?
You mean for funerals it's not free?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, funerals not free.
Then, if you die from COVID, you would expect, well, you understand?
Who would expect? No, we do not.
Think.
We do not expect you to be buried free, no matter what you die from.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of these things have consequences, and as you said, I was listening to a thing on my phone. I had my phone on my television. They were talking about this long COVID.
Yeah.
And it is showing up more and more.
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't feel like a lot of information has been given when it comes to long COVID. I know we talk about vaccinations and what could happen if you get COVID, but what happens when you recover from COVID and you still have symptoms?
But that's the point. No, that should be a deterrent to you. It should be a deterrent, Because, I think it was a station out of New York. And they were talking about the debilitating effect of it. Debilitating effect of COVID, even on the brain, your memory, and they call it brain fog and different things. Some people are unable to even work again. So we got this thing and this thing about, it's a little cold. If you wear your mask, you're not going to catch the cold, we got this thing light. Some people still saying, oh, the ain't not COVID is just the flu. But if it was just the flu, I tell you, that worse than any kind of flu we ever had.
Definitely.
We are being deceived. We're deceiving ourselves. So because it is a flu, you could give somebody else. Because we are at this time of the year, you hear the rationale. This time of the year, we are accustomed to get flu.
Yeah.
True? But this is not flu. Ask people who get it. Maybe we need to have more people who would have been infected to tell them the effect. I've heard some people.
Well, we're going to...
Boy, not me.
Yeah.
Everybody not alike, eh?
Yeah.
Everybody not alike. But it's not pretty.
We know.
No, you see, if you haven't had it, you don't know, you know. Put it that way. If you never had it, you follow?
Yeah.
Because
And even some people who have had it they didn't have it as bad. But Miss
That's
Henry,
what I
I'm
mean.
sorry to have to cut you short. We have to run into another segment with traffic
All right,
talk.
then.
But
Good
thank you.
morning.
You can call back after.
Yes, I'm helping you out.
No problem. Yes, guys, stick and stay to more Island Tea. We have traffic talk coming up next with our favorite officer. Stay tuned.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop. Stop. I'm making it my business to alert all motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue to help you to live. Just take this advice I give. I warn all drivers to take care of your passengers. Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. How much more tragedy we have to endure to face the reality. Less is safer than more.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Delia Walwyn, people you can trust.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers. I'm begging you to.
Yes, welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azim, featuring myself. And we are jumping into traffic talk. Good morning, officer.
Doing this morning.
Sorry, I'm fine. My co-host abandoned me today, so you know. I have to man the board and do everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah, in the hot seat, man.
yeah, man. So how are you? How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was good, man. A lot of rain. And how was yours, man?
Was pretty much the same. Did you work this weekend?
The show did, yes.
Oh boy, Lord, no rest for the weary, yeah?
Okay. yeah.
So what are we talking about this
Good
morning?
morning, everyone. This morning, as mentioned, we would have experienced quite, not quite, a rainy weekend. We had quite a rainy weekend on the last weekend there. So this morning, I would just want to share some tips. I feel it's a very timely topic this morning as to the way we ought to drive when our roads are wet. Definitely, and we would have experienced some wet roads over the weekend, even up into this morning. So this morning, we are going to be just sharing some very important tips as to how we are to drive when we are driving on the road when it is wet. So good morning, everyone out there again. But before we go to our topic, I would just want to thank our sponsor, Caribbean Alliance, Delay Walwyn Insurance. Very much so. We want to thank you for being our sponsor for our Traffic Talk program, which is aired every Monday morning right here on Win FM 98.9 FM. And I'll jump right into our topic. And our topic this morning is tips for driving in the rain. The first top tip I would want to share with us is that, one, we ought to wait until the weather improves if it's possible. Okay? Wait until the weather improves if possible. If you feel uncomfortable driving in the rain and you can postpone your trip or commute, you must wait until the weather improves before driving. There is no reason to put yourself or anyone else in danger if driving in wet conditions. Number 2, double check your car's equipment. Make sure that your car's equipment is in working order before encountering rainy conditions. Check your headlights, your tail lights, and your windshield wipers to make sure that they will work efficiently when they are needed. Also, check the tread of your vehicle's tires. Balding tires, or as we commonly say, smooth tires, can severely reduce traction on wet roads. Number 3, slow down. Not only should you adhere to the posted speed limit when driving in wet weather conditions, you should drive considerably slower than you normally would. Wet roads are very dangerous. Your vehicle's reaction time is much slower when it is raining. Reduced speed is imperative in rainy conditions. Number 4, turn on your headlights. Most states or most countries require drivers to turn on their vehicle's light while driving in rain. Even if it is only misting, turning on your vehicle's headlights will increase both your visibility and other drivers' ability to see your car on the road. Number 5, use your windshield wipers. While this may seem like common sense, some people forget to turn on their windshield wipers in light rain. Most cars' windshield wiper speed is adjustable to clear moisture from the glass in a light mist or in a heavy downpour. There are also several products available that can be sprayed or wiped onto the glass and claim to defer the collection of rainwater. Number 6, Maintain a safe distance between cars. Keep a greater distance between your vehicle and the car in front of you. Stopping your vehicle will be more difficult when driving in the rain. Maintain a distance of several cars' length between your car and other vehicles. Number 7, avoid heavy braking. Try to slow your vehicle by taking your foot off the accelerator earlier than you normally would in preparation to slow down or stop. Don't use cruise control, so your attention on using both the gas and brake are in tune. Number 8, watch out for standing water. Driving through standing water can cause hydroplaning to occur. Of course, sir. We are going to be taking some calls. Yes? Yes, sorry. Okay, we have a caller on the road, on the line?
We had, but they seem to left. Caller, you feel free to call back.
Yes. And I'll repeat number 8, which is watch out for standing water. Driving through standing water can cause hydroplaning to occur, which is when you lose traction and skid across the surface of the road. To avoid hydroplaning, drive around places where water has collected by changing lanes or safely steering around such areas. Okay, we have a caller. Caller, you're live on Traffic Talk. Go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Sergeant Brown.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. This is PWOP,
Yes, sir.
but I'm going to put on another letter before PWOP. This is RPWOP, Retired Police Without Pay.
Retired. Don't tell me that you left the system.
The resignation letter done gone in.
Yeah, well, it's going to be ignored, man. Trust me.
I don't know about it, but I got the duplicate.
So
No.
what's on your mind for this morning?
Well, something very serious and
Yes.
it's very, very
Talk to us.
irritating.
Yeah.
Example set, example follow. You have a lot of what I call young age men driving public service transportation like buses. And I know from when I get my license way back, you cannot drive certain vehicle or you cannot work for certain company driving under the age of 25. Now the kind of young age people them driving public transportation, I want to know if the insurance changed the policy. Because a lot of them, all they want to do is press down the right foot, press the metal to the floor, speeding. They don't care whether it's people, fed up, or cold they got in the vehicle. And if you ball out, tell them, hello, you're going too fast, man. Cut down with me, it's people in here. If you're not dish your tower like it, go out. Those kind of language you're using to people, and it should not be that way. And then the second thing, them themselves driving without mask. So when people go in the bus and they ain't got on a mask, and somebody come to the bus with mask, and they say, but how come some of them in there not got on a mask? It's bad word again, the person who want to go in the bus. Tell them if you don't want to come in here, no come in. Because they themselves who operate in the vehicle don't have on a mask. So they're not setting any example for the passengers in the bus who don't have on a mask. And they need to look into. It's a law. I don't know if it is gazetted, but people out there who are supposed to enforce these things, they're not doing it. Some of them not doing it, not all. Some of them. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'll continue to listen.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your call and your timely concern as it relates to speeding. These public transportation vehicles, public service vehicles. Yes, speeding continue to be one of the major factors of road accidents on our road. And the statistic has shown that speeding definitely is one of the major contributing factor. And if person, I don't think we can, every week we come here on the program and we always, on a weekly program, on a weekly basis, ask persons, try not to speed. It does not make any sense to speed. If you're in an accident, I mean, innocent person's life could and will be at risk. And not only that, you stand the chance of having some fatalities.
Yeah, no, it's true. Far too often we see people just speeding from
no reason at all.
stoplight to stoplight for
And sometimes
so small and everything. So what?
Sometimes on your way into Bastille, whether from the eastern end or the western end, you might see a vehicle overtake you at a great speed. And by the time you reach,
to stop.
yeah, you see them right in front of
Yeah,
you.
it's ridiculous. But officer, we have a call.
Yeah, we have a call. Caller, you're live on Traffic Talk. Go right ahead with your concern or your topic. Hello?
Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Mr. Brown, happy New Year, you know?
Good morning and Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah. I missed the show. I missed the show for the year, so this is my first time for the year getting to speak to you, you know?
Welcome back, and it's better late than never, man.
Yeah. Well, I commend you for the hard work that you do and taking the time out to come in on the year to speak with us.
Yes.
You know, I appreciate it, and I'm sure others would appreciate it. But
thank you very much, sir.
I think that it needs some more like you, especially not from the traffic department, but from the other end. You know, I think that that's where you guys would win back the community.
When you say other end, explain what you mean by that.
Like, I don't know what you guys call them, but the police department side. I know you guys different from the traffic. You know, you got the traffic and then you have like the Bastille police station.
Okay, I must inform you that there's a weekly program. It's called Policing with You, and this is aired every Thursday morning. I think it's from around 9:15 thereabout on ZIZ Radio.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's called Policing with You, and yeah, so
okay then. Maybe I should get a little tune into that there then sometime, you know.
Okay.
Then okay. Yeah. But a couple of things was on my mind. One, the crossing pedestrian that you guys used to have by Church Street.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you guys didn't put it back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, when you finish, I'll just explain.
And you have another one there just before you reach Market Street where you're driving from east to west.
Yes.
Right before the church. Because, I mean, as I said back in the past, as a person that drives town every day, you know, every single day. I have a day that I don't drive to town. And I drive town from morning to afternoon.
Okay.
Right? And I see kids going folks, because they know that a pedestrian was there, so they will stand up there, you know, waiting to cross the road.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there, you know, to say, well, you know, you're supposed to cross here. I mean, the other crossing where from there is all the way back to 4th Street. Imagine like you live Monkey and you're trying to cross the road to go over. I mean, where do you go? Right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know you have a traffic officer or should I call them traffic warden right there in the gut. But sometimes you have one or two of them with direct traffic and help you cross the road, and you have a few who just, stand up there and watch the traffic just pass, wouldn't assist you to cross the road or anything like that. I think that traffic warden should give a little assistance now and again. I don't know if I might be passing in the wrong time, or something like that where I don't see it, but I know one or two don't help people to cross the road. And the other thing, Mr. Brown, when it comes to like busy time, like busy hours, I think that the drivers, like especially on a Friday, let me say on a Friday, because I will say on a Friday, I hate to go town on a Friday, but I have to. But I choose my times to go town, because sometimes, between 12 and 1, somewhere around there might be busy. Going to be busy because, traffic flowing where people trying to get in town. But I think that we drivers need to use a little common sense, especially when you reach the junction of the stoplights. Sometimes, you see the traffic line long, that you can't even get around. Like, for instance, you're heading from east to west, around Baker's Corner to go west. You will see a long line of cars. You're coming down Baker's Corner right there just before you hit the roundabout. The stoplight turn green, but you see the traffic blocked up. You're still trying to force your way out. So, for instance, if the traffic now go back red now and you come out, you block the roundabout to go around. When the traffic light from the police station area turns green now, and the cars can't even get to go around the roundabout to say they're going to it back, because why? You come out and you block the traffic right there. Many times I see that light, not because the light is turned green, that means you should go because he said to go, and the traffic already blocked. You're just causing more problems to what you already have. Just relax on the school and let the traffic just ease off and flow. I mean, we understand you're trying to get up, but you can't block somebody because your light said it's green. And I think that it needs to have, and especially on a busy day, maybe a 1 or 2 traffic officers in them area there just to assist, tell them, man, hold on, you don't need to come out. And then the next pedestrian used to be right there, across the road there, when you come on the convent, the road to cross right there by convent school to the top, by the stoplight. I see a few kids just pass yours too as well. And sometimes they will just watch, they realize that, okay, the traffic, the cars are moving, they will dash across the road. I think they need a pedestrian out traffic one day as well. Just to assist and make it what school is on, because we don't want these things to happen and then we say, oh my God, a traffic warden used to be there, or something used to be there. That's my 2 cents, Mr. Brown.
Yes. Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Boy, that caller had a lot for you.
Yeah, caller. You said
I hope you were making notes.
Yes, I was. I want to first touch on your first pointers. You mentioned as to you asked the reason why the pedestrian crossing were removed from to the top there by Church Street, but just where we know the old singer used to be, and also across by Market Street. You're inquiring as to the reason why these crossings were removed. Caller, but if you're aware that when these crossings were in effect, when they were there, we didn't the traffic lights was not being erected. So these crossing were put there to assist person in crossing the road on a daily basis. But owing to the fact now that these lights were there, have been erected, even though there has not been fully, they have not been commissioned, they have not been turned on, we thought it would have been, it's best that these crossing be removed so as to not congested the traffic when the lights are being commissioned or when they are turned on, because if these crossing were to still be there when the lights are being turned on, it would cause a headache, it would cause a problem whereby if the lights are turned on green and persons are there, it would cause a backed up, or person would be in some form of jeopardy when they are crossing. So we thought that the best thing to do is to have these crossing removed from where they were and put them closer to the lights where they are more, we would be more effective to assist persons when they are crossing. Also, Carter, you would have mentioned persons. You pointed out in the area where at Baker's Corner, you mentioned Baker's Corner when in busy periods of the day or the week, and you mentioned Fridays when there's a busy period. Persons when the traffic are blocked up, even though persons see the green light, which in effect give them permission to move off. But you're saying, why move off even though the light is green and you see there's a congestion ahead of you? That, I believe, sometimes it all boils down to courtesy. And I could never stop repeating this word, courtesy, road courtesy. Sometimes some of us does not show any road courtesy. Sometimes we do, sometimes have to give up our right of way to assist persons to let the traffic flow, and then we continue to flow. I'm told that we have another caller. Caller, you're live on. Oh, we might have missed that caller.
Yes, but we might have another one. Let me see if I could get it. Boy. Go ahead in the meantime, Sergeant Brown.
Yes. So I was saying, sometimes we, as drivers, sometimes we definitely, in situations, sometimes we have to give up our right of way to assist the traffic to flow freely. Even though we have the right of way, it does not mean because I have the right of way, so I gonna go, and what happened. I have the right. So sometimes just for peace sake, sometimes just for the traffic to flow freely without any unnecessary congestion, we give up the right, let other persons flow pass, and then as you'll see how quick your right of way become your right of way again.
Yes, but we have one last caller. Caller, good morning.
Go right ahead. You're on Traffic Talk.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
In explaining the reason for the sighting of pedestrian crossings,
sorry?
You used repeatedly, we decided. One would hope that the traffic department, when making these determinations, would consult the people who use these, and who use these necessarily. Very often, one person sees something very differently, and one would encourage the traffic department to consult people such as the disabled, elderly people who have difficulty crossing the streets, and simply saying that we, in your judgment, decided that this is what is good for you, may not what is best for those who are less able. I walking down the street will not be very much put out by a misplaced paving stone. But an older person, when they trip on that paving stone, have little chance of recovering before they go smash on their nose. And so I would encourage you to consult others outside of the traffic department when determining the best places for pedestrian crossings. One other thing, I would also encourage the traffic department to work in coordination with SCELEC, and wherever there are pedestrian crossings, to try to ensure that there is at least a bright street lamp close by to illuminate the spot, because sometimes drivers, especially during inclement weather, have difficulty seeing the pedestrian crossings, and more importantly, seeing that someone is standing there waiting to cross. And we must also remember that many of our motorists today are not accustomed to saying kiss. It's not like saying, well, everybody knows that that's a pedestrian crossing. We need to take this into consideration. Thank you very much, and have a hard-working week, sir.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Yeah, caller, before you would have, before these lights or crossing would have been removed, before the lights were even put in place or commissioned, consultation were made. I don't know if you would have recalled that office officials from the Public Works Department would have been regular persons being coming on the program, the Traffic Talk program, and would have been sharing with the general public of the intentions going forward as it relates to, one, the crossings, two, the lights where they would be put in place, and also where parking of vehicles would be eliminated. So I must say to you that yes, consultations were being made, not just on the Traffic Talk program, but in other forums. So yes, I must say to you that consultations were in effect were made. Yes, you made a very important point where the pedestrian crossing some of these crossings should be more properly lighted, and that is an important factor. So I hope that persons from the SCELEC department are being made aware, and also we can even make suggestions to these officers at the SCELEC department.
Well, Officer Brown, I know time is fast spent, but I
Yes.
have one question for you that a friend of mine keeps asking me to
Okay.
ask. So they want to know if it is possible for you to take a picture of your license and have it in your phone, like similar to how they have the vaccine card that you could take a picture of and present it. Somebody is saying if they can have a picture of their license in their phone, and if they forget their wallet or their license for whatever reason, can they present that?
No, we prefer the hard copy. You must have the physical hard copy, the driver's license, with you at all times. We are discouraging persons for having, as you mentioned, taking a photo of their license, and when they are stopped, they present that photo. Anything can, we know in this age of technology, anything can, they are very bright persons out there.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want people to...
Right. So you're on the ball here. So we prefer that.
I understand.
Yeah, we prefer that you have the hard copy, the physical license itself, to present to the officers when you are stopped and you're asked to present your driver's license.
Well, I hope they're listening and
I
they
hope
got
so.
their
I
answer.
hope so too. I want to thank persons, you all out there, Radio Land, for being a part of our Traffic Talk program this morning. I want to thank the callers, for calling in and sharing with us your concern. And I want to also thank you, the listeners, for listening and being a part of the program. Some persons prefer to listen, and some person, even though when they listen, when they meet me on the road, they share their concern with me. So I want to thank you for being a part of our program this morning. I want to also thank again our sponsor, the Little Warren Caribbean Alliance Insurance, for being our sponsor. So until we meet again next week, Monday, same place, same time, I want to wish everyone a peaceful, hard-working week ahead. Safe week, safe traversing on our streets. As I mentioned, please, when it's raining, drive extra cautious. So be safe, not just for yourself, but other road users again. So bye for now.
Well, guys, we'll be right back with more Island Tea. Stick and stay to Win Media. We'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
To avoid getting the coronavirus, remember to wash your hands thoroughly and frequently before and after preparing food.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortspur's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Welcome back to Island Tea, guys, with your faves, Kevon and Azim featuring myself. Sorry for the pause. I was the signs behind me was falling down. They were trying to attack me, so I had to get myself and the signs together. But yes, it is Monday 7th again. We just have Officer Brown with traffic talk. The phone lines are buzzing, but I'm not sure why. So let's figure it out. Good morning, caller. You're live. What's up?
Good morning. Nice to keep your company since Azim is not there. The reasoning behind the increased HIV/AIDS statistics released by the Ministry of Health seems a bit superficial.
I mean, what's driving the increase in numbers of both the testing and those diagnosed as HIV positive?
Sex.
Right?
That's what drives it. Sex. Sex is driving it. Yeah, that's how you get. That's how most people. Let me not say that's the only way for you to get infected, but that's how most people get infected.
Okay, but is it that because remember we've had AIDS for so long now? Is it that there's been? Is it that more people are tested based on preliminary diagnosis by doctors, or people are looking at certain changes in the society and are becoming concerned, or has there been a significant lifestyle change all of a sudden? I mean, any way we look at it, right, there needs to be some official response, I think, to these new stats, and the community should be, whatever the plan is going forward should be communicated to the communities as soon as possible. Not just alert them about the stats and leave it there. Maybe we need to redouble our prevention efforts and education efforts with regards to it, because it has been under the radar for some time now. With regards to COVID, I think it's high time we reassess and redirect our response to that too. Okay? Some hasty and some bad decisions were made out, I think, of a number of things. Fear was one of them. Self-serving interests and the bottom line was another. Okay? And I don't think it's not just because of the information that we had at present. I think Azim suggested that some time ago. I think it was more than that. I think there was little attempt to be empathetic and figure out other solutions that were possible. After all, the employers didn't mandate that their customers be vaccinated, okay? Mm-hmm. And they came down with this no jab, or be vaxxed or axed kind of policies. And what is even more strange was that the government and its labor department seem to be siding and encouraging employers in this, what I call a travesty, right? The employers have the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, which looks after their interests, and it's a powerful group. The workers don't have anybody. They don't have strong unions to look after their interests. So in that environment, I think the government should have stepped in on the side of the workers. Mm-hmm. And what was even more galling was the fact that the government did not issue any such mandate for its workers.
No, they did not.
Huh?
I said, no, they did not.
They didn't, right? I mean, you can't have more double standards and hypocrisy than that, And as him said, it seemed all about money and votes with politicians, okay? I think he said that on Friday, and I thought that was a very instructive statement, okay? So what happened to the workers, I think, was a travesty, and there should be more than just an apology. Okay, now that we've had time to sit back and think and reassess, there should be some form of redress, okay? Reparation, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I think. All right, then.
Well, thank you for your input. Can't speak on behalf of Azim because he's not here. But yeah, we'll jump more into that one when he returns. But guys, and I see some of our lovely listeners, viewers on the comments. Good morning, SH. Yeah, let's jump over to Jamaica. So, Jamaican police officer arrested in the U.S. A member of the Jamaica Constable Force, JCF, has been suspended following reports of her arrest in the United States on charges of alleged wire fraud, mail fraud, and drug trafficking. She has been identified as Shellyan Allen, 42, who was arrested last Friday by members of the Homeland Security Investigation Team shortly after arriving in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. According to our court documents, Allen has been accused of being one of the leaders of a lottery scamming organization that fleeced millions from unsuspected victims. A review of numerous accounts tied to this organization revealed a loss amount in excess of US 1.6 million from 17 victims across the country, including a Brown County victim, the document stated. In a statement, the High Command of Jamaica Constable Force said it will continue to collaborate with its international counterparts in this matter. Boy, oh boy. Sis, listen. I'm not going to lie to you, you might be going to jail. What were you doing? And why would you go to the people country knowing, allegedly, that this is what you're doing? They're going to catch you. I've yet to see an instance where this type of thing has happened and they have not been caught. Somebody says she's going on bad charges for murder too. Oh my gosh. Ma'am, you are doing too much. When we get into certain positions, when we hold certain positions, especially positions of power, we have to do what? Better. When you go into these positions, when you get these jobs, when you do things that, you know, are supposed to be deemed as moral, like you're supposed to have the highest of morals in certain jobs. Being an officer is definitely one of them. You have to do better. You can't then decide, on one hand, you have to serve and protect and be an example for the community. And then on the other hand, you're out here scamming people. It cannot go hand in hand. It cannot go hand in hand. And it's not something that is just happening. This is not like an isolated incident. There's a lot of people in these type of positions who do things, and these things are illegal. They are corrupted, and they should not have the positions that they hold. We have to weed them out because things are not going to get better if we continue to allow these people to hold the positions that they do. I applaud the JCF for suspending her, because if these allegations are true, she deserves to be suspended. I mean, she deserves to go to jail, but you know, suspension is a start. Let us not do things in these positions that will cause us to bring negative light to our organizations, especially the police. Lord, we know police all around the world are already going through it. They are seen as people who do some of the worst things. Communities are crying out from corruption and, you know, all of these things. And then, here we go. An officer just adding to the example of what not to do as a police. Oh, boy. Well, you know, our good sis might be going to jail. So, hey, what can you do? Let's jump over into Antigua now. It says, Antigua, DPP found guilty of professional misconduct. Chief Magistrate Joanne Walsh is reportedly expected to take over the position of Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, in Antigua and Barbuda, as Anthony Armstrong proceeds on special leave. Armstrong, who is a native of Jamaica, oh God, was found guilty of professional misconduct by the country's legal disciplinary body, the General Legal Counsel, GLC, for signing a document knowing that his client was not physically present. Shame. Attorney General Stenway Benjamin said in an interview with a local media house that Armstrong will proceed on special leave to appeal the disciplinary charge against him. As of Monday, he will no longer be in the position. He will be given an opportunity to prosecute his appeal. Someone has been identified to act as Director of Public Prosecutions in the interim, and the office will continue to flow as it ought to in the circumstances, the AG explained. While the AG said it was too early to confirm the individual expected to take over, sources close to the loop confirmed reports that Walsh, who is the current chief magistrate in the country's lower court, is likely to take up the position. Meanwhile, Armstrong's leave is expected to last for 3 months in the first instance and could be extended up to 1 year. He will be able to function as DPP until the matter. He will not be able to function as DPP until the matter is complete. Adams told Loop he had been imprisoned for 14 years, and it was during that time that he was accused Adams told Loop he had been imprisoned for 14 years, and it was during that time that he accused the attorney of selling his properties without his consent and forging his signature. Yikes. He is pretending to be a sheep, but he has wolf behavior, he remarked, maintaining that the properties were sold without his consent, an allegation that the legal counsel said they were not satisfied have been proven. We are not satisfied beyond all reasonable doubt that the complainant did not instruct the attorney to sell his 3 properties and that the signature of the transfers so not belong to the complainant, the reports read. The counsel, however, reprimanded the attorney for signing as a witness, knowing that Adams, who was in prison in the United States at the time, was not physically present. Wow. The counsel described the attorney's actions as being the height of recklessness and a move that could discredit the legal profession. By witnessing a legal document, the witness is saying that he saw the person sign same, which was not true, the report read. Armstrong has refrained from making a public comment on this matter. Well, imagine that. So the DPP of Antigua signed as a witness. Meanwhile, he was not present. Well, the person who he said he was signing as a witness for was not present. Which means that is fraud, my boy. That is fraud. Now, I'm not too up on the legals. However, I know that you can't do that. I know for a fact that you cannot do. You cannot sign documents saying that you witness things that you do not witness. What is happening? Like, why is these stories back to back and they involve Jamaicans? And Jamaicans that hold the highest of, well, the other officer isn't in that high of an office, but the DPP, man, oh my God. That is insane. Because now everybody looking at it, if you could do this, what else could you do? And being in public office in the way that you are, that's going to cause some issues, of course. And now you have to go on leave for up to a year, possibly. I would be interested to see how this case plays out because, you know, this is something not to be taken lightly, especially with the accusation of selling property without permission, which is also fraud. Boy, oh boy. Oh dear, what a year this has been, and we're only in February. What a year this has been. Somebody is saying scamming is a big thing in Jamaica. New, it's some of them only job. Well, it wasn't their only jobs because one is a DPP and one is an actual police officer. So they had some way to sustain themselves. So this might just boil down to greed. I'm not going to lie. When you see people who don't have to do certain things and they do them anyway for money or for financial gain, whatever it is, it usually boils down to greed. Greed would make you do a lot of things, you know. Greed would literally make you sell your own children. So, but let's say what the callers are saying. Caller, good morning, you're live.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you very much. Robbie Keane, greed. Greed could take hold of you. It's like a drug. It's like a cocaine. It's like something that gets in your system that you can't get out. Mm-hmm. You want more and you have no use for it, but you have to take it because it's available. Mm-hmm. It's accessible. And that is why it's so important that we look over each other. Because when we
Uh-oh. Caller, it seems like you've dropped out. Are you there? Caller? Oh boy. Caller, feel free to call back. It seems like your call has dropped out. But yes, that's why we have to hold people accountable, especially in the positions that they hold. If you are in the position of the highest office, why are you doing things like these? It honestly just boils down to greed. Because it's not like you're doing it because you're struggling. It's not like you are on your last leg. You don't know where your next meal going to come from. You have all these kids to feed and these things. You literally could afford to live comfortably, sometimes even more than comfortably. But you see an opportunity to scam and to fraud. And you're like, you know what? I could do this. Because money. Boy, greed does make y'all do a lot of things that y'all really shouldn't do. And now y'all going to jail for ridiculous reasons. Ridiculous reasons. Anywho, I will not be one of those people because I don't like people things. One thing I learned from small is not to like people things, and I've never, ever decided, you know what? Let me do scams, let me participate. Listen, I am so weary of all these things. Even when they had the what was it called now? A partner hand. The thing where what happened in the early stages of the pandemic where people were just pulling money together and you get a cut and you bring in somebody, whatever they call it. That I stayed far from because, boy, I wasn't trusting it. I do not trust it. And somebody saying that officers are basically living paycheck to paycheck and desperation can push. That I can agree with. Sometimes people are in positions where they literally cannot afford to do anything because they don't see a way out. They don't have any other options because of their jobs not paying them a livable wage. That's not a justification, but that also happens. And I'm not really lamenting on those people. I'm talking more about people who are in higher offices who literally don't have to do these things. They have no reason, no justification. They are living well. They eat every day. Sometimes they eat 3 to 4 times a day, which is a luxury for a lot of people. Those are the people I really have to look down on because you do not have a logical reason besides greed. Greed can put you all in a lot of things. Somebody said kleptomaniacs. I think it's a mental illness, sorry. Yeah, there are actually people who have this kleptomaniacs. They just cannot help the urge to take up no matter what it is. It could be a penny. They see it, they have to take it because that is driven by something else. And I'm not talking about those people either, but they do exist. But yeah, let's try to hold each other accountable, as the caller was saying, especially people in high offices, high positions, people who hold the positions that can make or break a society. Those are the people we want to see doing these things. I mean, we don't want to see anybody doing any of this, but it is especially worrying when those are the people in making the news for these type of things. Let's see. Where can we go? Let's jump into something out of England and the throne. So, well, it's not opening. There we go. So it says Queen Elizabeth begins celebrations to mark 70 years on the throne. 70 years. A smiling Queen Elizabeth kicked off celebrations for the 70th anniversary of her accession to the British throne by inviting local community groups on Saturday to her Sandringham residence in the east of England. Sunday will mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, a first for a British monarch. Imagine that. Elizabeth, 95, she is 95 years old, boy, became the Queen of Britain and more than a dozen other realms, including Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, on the death of her father, King George, on February 6, 1952, while she was in Kenya on an international tour. The Queen's guests at Sandringham included Angela Woods, who, as a cookery student in 1953, helped to create coronation chicken, a curry and mayonnaise-based dish invented to celebrate Elizabeth's reign, and that is enjoyed today. Okay, me and Judge. I'm not going to judge, but okay. The Queen, wearing a light blue dress, also cut a celebratory cake baked by a local resident and heard a rendition of congratulations played by concert band Buckingham Palace said. Elizabeth has continued to carry out official duties well into her 19s, but has been little seen in public since she spent a night in hospital last October for unspecified ailment and then instructed by doctors to rest. However, Buckingham Palace on Friday released footage ahead of Sunday's landmark showing her viewing items from previous royal jubilees, such as a fan given to her great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, to mark her 50th on the throne in 1887, signed by family, friends, and politicians. Ironically, Elizabeth was not destined to be monarch at her birth and became queen only because her uncle Edward abdicated to be with an American divorcee, Wallis Simpson. Listen, that was spicy. If y'all have not watched The Crown, I'm not saying it's completely accurate in its depiction, but watch The Crown. But in 2015, she overtook Victoria as Britain's longest reigning sovereign in line that traces its origin back to Norman King William I and his 1066 conquest in England. This weekend's low-key events are a prelude to more pomp and ceremony to mark the Platinum Jubilee in early June. The government has added an extra public holiday to the usual spring day off to mark for a 4-day weekend. Being in power for so long is crazy. But we have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Am I on here?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I just want to let me say a pleasant good morning to everybody, the Federation, and to the entire world. I would like. Have you ever heard about what do you call it again? Occupied territories.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Occupied territories.
Occupied territories?
Yes.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too
like
sure.
Israel, right, and Palestinian thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have occupied territories here in St. Kitts,
Mm.
and nobody seems to be looking after it, even though a lot of complaints were made to the Skipton police station, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all what the police people need, right? The first thing they ask you for is your name and your phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I questioned them and asked, why would you want people's name and phone number? To do what? This is a complaint whereby it is necessary for you all to go and clear what people claim that they do not own.
So, you're talking about people who, for instance, buildings that people know squat in, and claim as their own, but the true owner wants to go and claim it?
No.
Okay,
this is where people occupy the roads.
The roads?
Okay, let me describe the place to you. You know, there's a place they call Embassy Shores in St. Peter's.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the White House is?
The White House?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but
okay. Okay. You know where the ATM machine is going up to Monkey Hill?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you are coming from Bastia to go up to Monkey Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just before you reach the ATM machine, there is a concrete road that go up to the project up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You follow the concrete road and you end up in the main road.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main road. Now you go down in the main road. Do not turn in the street. Just go straight down. And you will see on your right-hand side, there's pallets on the road. People blocking the road with pallets.
Mm-hmm.
They claim what they do not own.
Oh, okay.
And if you go further down, on the last street, there are two streets. You go down on the last street. Before you turn on the last street, you look on your right.
Mm-hmm.
A guy put a palm tree, stuck a palm tree down, and a 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
So all these people blocking the road, and the road is very bad right now. Like how the rain falls,
Yeah.
it has an inclination, right?
Mhm.
The road is inclined. So it goes from the top of where I mentioned to you about the concrete road
Mm-hmm.
to go down. So the water washing away the road.
Yeah.
And even though the public works people trying to help us out with it's still washing when the rain falls heavily.
Okay.
So we tried make complaints to the station,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, and I figure out why people don't want to call is because people probably heard of what they want instead of what they should do.
You got to call. You have to call during traffic talk and talk to the officer on ear.
Yeah, but we call directly to the Stapleton police station, and nobody went up there.
Well,
Several
hopefully somebody
calls were made.
listening now will take your complaint serious. But yeah, call on Mondays during traffic talk and speak to the officer. He usually makes notes of these things, and we will be able to hold him accountable because we see him and he acknowledged your complaint. So once he acknowledges and writes it down, we can go back and ask him what's happening with that situation.
Yes, please. Okay. On Mondays at what time?
Mondays at 8:30.
8:30.
Yes.
Oh boy, I called earlier and it was busy.
Well, next time try calling at 8:30 and we're going to try to get you in and you can chat with the officer about this complaint.
Yeah, because I spoke to Basque police station as well, and they told me that is not their area of operation.
Okay.
Police station. I asked them, I told them that I spoke to them, and it seemed like nobody seems to concern about it. And it is very important that I even spoke to an inspector, who I met in a store, and told him about it. So I said, okay, I'm going to talk to the people at Stapleton police station and get something done.
Yeah, call back.
I
Yeah,
never see about the inspector.
yeah.
Anyway,
I
I'll
can't.
see what I can do.
Sorry.
I see what I can do next week.
Yes, try call at 8:30 and talk to Sergeant Brown, and hopefully he can help you.
Okay, dear.
Yes. Thank you, Carlo. Guys, the clock on the wall is telling me it is time for a little break. So we will be right back, thank our sponsors, and jump right back into more tea. Stay tuned.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta, drink the real Fruta, your favorite real Fruta, the natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta, drink the real Fruta, your favorite real Fruta, the natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Welcome back to More Island Tea, guys. With your faves, oh Lord, Azim and Kevon. With me, I am Jade, your host for today, because as I said, Azim is out, and Kevon is on a terrible time. So I am just trying to hold it down today with my wonderful callers and commenters who have been keeping my company. I appreciate you guys. I saw that the phone lines were lighting up earlier while we were during the break. Feel free to call back now. We are back, and I would like to hear from you. But yeah, being in power for 70 years is crazy. Yeah. I honestly don't know what to say. I can't imagine. Like, I can't imagine being Queen Elizabeth and having to rule for so long. At 95, listen, at 95, I want to be resting myself. I don't want to be ruling over nobody at those ages, okay? I need to be on a beach somewhere with my feet up, if I could put them up still. Relaxing, taking in the sun and the sand, and enjoying my last days on earth, because, you know, it kind of goes downhill from you hit 90. You know, your time is limited on the earth, so kudos to her and making it to 90, because, boy, she's better than me, because I would not like to be a part of that. So, boy, let's jump into a story that I saw and bothered me, of course, because ridiculous. So it says a Michigan mom accused of murdering her 3-year-old daughter says SpongeBob made her do it. Yes, you heard that right. She said SpongeBob, the yellow cartoon that our kids love to enjoy, and plenty of adults, because I like an episode of SpongeBob now and again myself. She said SpongeBob made her do this terrible deed. So a Michigan woman claims SpongeBob told her to kill her 3-year-old daughter, so she did, according to police. Justine Johnson, no relation whatsoever to me. None. 22, has been charged with felony murder and first-degree child abuse for the September 16th stabbing death of her daughter, Sutton Mosser, who turned 3 just days earlier. Sutton's body was found stuffed in a black garbage bag after she told her 17-year-old brother to mind your own effing business. When he asked where Sutton was, he testified Friday in court, according to MLive. Johnson left their house and the teenager did the same soon after, returning around 10 p.m. to an empty house. Johnson's other brother, Nestle, came home around 4 a.m. and asked the teen where Sutton was. The teen, who said he had seen Johnson doing drugs earlier in the day, then went to look and found the trash bag with what appeared to be a child's foot sticking out, he testified. The pair called police, and crime scene investigators found bloodstains on a hallway closet door, living room couches, and in the bedroom. 3 knives were also found in the bedroom. Sutton's body, with stab wounds to the neck, chest, and abdomen, was wrapped in a comforter in the bag, along with the bloody pair of jeans. Ryan Eberlein, an investigator with Child Protective Services, testified that Johnson told him she had left her mother's house and passed out at a nearby gravesite, then went to her own apartment and attempted suicide. She was getting hallucinations from the TV that had instructed her to take her daughter's life or they would kill her, Eberlein said Friday, according to MLive. It was SpongeBob who was saying these things on TV. If she didn't do what she did to her daughter, they would kill her, she said. She said she was afraid for her life and she had lost her mind. Wow. Johnson is due back before the judge for a pre-trial hearing on February 28th. She remains behind bars without bail until then. Y'all, I have no words. I have no words, because what in the hell did I just read? What in the hell did I just read? What? Bruh. What does she mean? What does she mean, SpongeBob? This sounds like a case, and I don't know the person personally. I don't know this young lady. But from what the article says, if the things that she is saying are true, she sounds like somebody with some serious mental issues that need help ASAP. Like, no joke, nothing. She needs serious psychological help. And to be honest, a lot of people do. A lot of people out here living with things and dealing with things that they can't explain themselves, and they don't know where to turn. Turn to help. Turn to therapy. Turn to a counselor. Like, tell somebody before it is too late. Before we experience tragedies like this that continue, that feel like almost something that is now common and normalized in society, and it should not be. It should not be at all. Like, these type of things we need to really, really deal with before it becomes worse. A 3-year-old innocent child is now dead because her mother seemed to have had a psychotic break. Because anybody saying that they heard SpongeBob tell them to kill their child, yeah, they cannot be in their right state of mind. Unless she's using this as an excuse, because we do see mental health used to try and get out of things, and it is used to justify the most heinous acts done by human beings in this world. So, boy, get some help. People, when you realize that your mental health is not at peak capacity, when you realize you aren't able to function as a regular member of society, and I'm not talking about people who just have sad days, bad days. We all have a lot of us have depressed days, sad days. We cry, we experience tragedies that alter our mental health and the state that we live in. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about people who know for sure and have clear signs of mental illness. We need to really get these people some help. A lot of people have family members right now. They know for a fact. They know something is wrong. But they feel like it's not their job. It's not their responsibility. They don't care enough, you know. These type of things. We can't use these things as reasons to watch people continue to hurt themselves or others around them. Because you know that they have mental health issues. You know that they're experiencing things that the average person do not experience. If anybody tell me that they hear SpongeBob telling them to kill somebody, I am calling the police. Automatically, I am calling the police. And even so, sometimes the police themselves don't know how to deal with people who are having these episodes. People refuse to take medication. People don't have access to the medication that they need. And so things become dire. These things evolve into situations that can sometimes be prevented. But because, again, we feel like, oh, it is not our job. We have other things to do. We don't have the time to deal with this. It's not that serious. All of these excuses we make up to justify why we don't try to help people when they need that help. No, I know for here, for St. Kitts, we have certain resources that are available, such as the counseling center. Again, guys, if you feel like you need some type of mental health, some type of mental help, there's nothing wrong with reaching out and talking to a professional person who can help to guide you through these things, because you do not want to wait until it gets to a situation where you cannot come back from a decision you make because you did not choose to get the help that you could have gotten when it is available. And again, the counseling center is free. You just call them. Again, it is 466-5000 or 465. One of them is Domino's. Order the pizza one time while you wait. But yeah, call the counseling center and get some help, because trust me, you do not want to end up in a situation where you make a decision or you cannot help yourself from making a decision because your mental capacity has gotten so bad that now you hearing voices and killing people. Let's not get to that point, please. Please, please, please. Somebody saying lock up SpongeBob. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if he's responsible either. Like, that would be unjust on his part because he had nothing to do with this in that way. Somebody else is saying even in the Caribbean, people don't want to admit that their family might have some mental health issues. That is true. That is true. A lot of people really, I'm telling you, y'all could see it. Y'all could see your family members, or even within yourself, y'all know that something isn't right. The way that they speak, the way that they behave, the way that they interact with society and others, you know it because you could see it. You've experienced it, but you just want to stay in denial. Oh, they're fine, man. They're just a little unusual. Nothing wrong. And next thing you know, they end up on YouTube on a documentary about how they murdered 10 people and went on some weird killing spree. Listen, get help and get your family members help. Seems like we lost that call. Caller, feel free to call back. Yeah, and that is true. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Listen, some of us go through things that we do not know how to deal with. We experience loss, we experience tragedy, we experience things that alter our state of mind, and we do not know how to deal with it. Some of us are born with things that we cannot explain, but we refuse to get help. Anyway, caller, good morning. Good morning, caller, you're live.
Yeah, good morning, Jade. Now I'm listening to you, and sometimes those people do get help, but you put them in and then they come out and then they go right back because, here in America, sometimes they pick them up, they put them in the facility where they can get help, and they come out and they may function for a little bit, and when you look, New York is a fine place. Every minute you hear somebody just walk up to somebody on the subway platform and push them off.
Yep.
You go in there and you want to come out and you act. Some of them they could act good. They take the medication and they say, well, they're good, and you think. I remember you can only keep these people but for so long, and then you release them, and when they go back out there, they do some real crazy things, which is. I'm sure if they could have put them away for life, they could put them away, but then they have rules and laws that say you cannot do that. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do in that case? The government can't put them away for good because somebody going to say these people have rights. So what are you doing in a case like that?
No, that is
true.
When
you release them and they come out, because I think a couple of years ago, they released one, and when he come out, he went, push somebody off a subway in New York, on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Push the woman back. What are you doing stuff like that?
I honestly don't know. It is a very difficult situation to manage indeed, because you're right. There are some instances where you try your best to get your family member or friends or yourself, even yourself, some help, and it is a difficult process. But boy,
because although you're trying to help them, somebody gonna say you're infringing on their rights. You can't keep them locked up for the rest of their life. There's some lawyer out there ready to take up that case.
Yeah, but is that same lawyer ready to take up the case when the client that they're defending ends somebody's life because they may have an episode?
It's hard, Jade. It is very hard. But like you said, if someone has family members that they have issues, try and get them the help. That's all you can do.
Yep.
Have a good day.
You as well. But trust me, I spoke about it recently where there was a guy that I know from school. Like, I went to high school with him. I probably went to primary school with him. He used to play sports, and he was very talented, a very talented athlete. He played football, and now I see him. Not daily, because I try to avoid town as much as possible. But we often see him, and he's on the road, and he exposed himself to me, and I live next to a school. He exposed himself in front of my son. And what do we do in these instances? Do we wait until things get worse? Like, I honestly don't know how to navigate this space. But I do know there are lots of people that just need help. And how do we help them? How do we make them realize themselves that they need help and need to stick to the help that they're getting? Carla, good morning. You will be our last call of the morning.
Yes, Jane, good morning.
Good morning.
And to my other family there, cup of tea. Yeah, what happened, right, is true. But he get picked up now, he get picked up and they put him up to see if they could treat him and so.
Are we talking about who I'm talking about?
Yeah, my friend, he be a tall, thin guy.
Oh, no, not him, sorry. No, the person I'm talking about isn't tall, he's short.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still happy to hear that somebody is getting help.
Yeah, and this other one now, he was here. I wouldn't call the person name, his family brother name, but the big person who we know. Not really big, but they not well be known. And he, let's say one day somebody was saying, suppose see his brother now in this state, get help and he get over it. I said, that's good. Because what happened, I have a brother like that too, but what happened, they go into the place, the institution, they get help, and as you said, they come back out on the road, and then they go back to the substance, they like they can't do it out, and that would have messed them up.
And that is but that is how addiction works. Sometimes people feel like it's just as easy as to, you just need to get over it. A lot of the times that's not the case. A lot of the times they do try to get over it, but addiction has such a hold on them that they relapse, and you then have to start the process over and over and over.
Like our daughter, the addiction from in the 80s. And right now, she cannot get over it. She's doing more things and so on. When I speak to her, she dissing me and so I got to call my sister a while ago last night. Well, I text her, not call her. I text her and then I told her how I heard her behaving.
Yeah, but I don't want you to hold. Sorry, go ahead. We have to wrap up soon, sorry, but...
Yeah, give me the addiction number there again, you hear? 664.
466-5000 or 465-5000. It's one out of the two of them.
Oh, 466-5000.
I think it's that one, or 465-5000.
Yeah, because these people need help. A lot of people
They do.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Somebody on the... Azim... Azim is on the live saying that we have to examine why so many young men in particular are ending up in these situations. The numbers are rising, and that is true. More and more we go out, I swear every time I walk through town, I see somebody that I know I didn't see before that seems to have mental illness. It is scary. People are literally, as him says it all the time, people are literally one paycheck, one instance, one experience away from dealing with these type of issues. But, boy, I really hope we could figure out some way to help the people that need it the most, because we don't want to wait until tragedy strikes for us to be like, we should have done this, we could have done that, let's start doing things now. No, let's start doing things before anything happens that we can't take back, before we lose life. Because trust me, I see all the time in NY where people just lose their life randomly because somebody with mental illness, as the caller was saying, pushes them off the train station, stabs them, hits them over the face with a They and it's not really necessarily their fault, it's their illness. But we have to do better, boy. We have to do better. But guys, it is time for me to leave. The clock on the wall is saying it is time for us to go home, wrap up the show for today. But stick and stay. We have Island Archives, a very interesting podcast coming up at 10 a.m. And then later at 11, we have Voices with Devon. So stick and stay to more Win Media SKN. Remember, you can follow us on social media at Win Media SKN on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. We're all over the place. You must be able to find us. Also, thank you to all of the callers and all of the commenters that kept my company today, because Azim abandoned me. I hope you're listening. Well, he is because he's writing on the live. He will be back with me tomorrow, nevertheless. And yeah, just remember to, what has him to say? I can't remember the one about something about living your content and not posting it. Yeah, that's a good advice. Look back on the other lives if you really want to remember what he said. And also, you cannot be everybody's cup of tea because you are not a mug. See you guys tomorrow.